Hey everybody, welcome back to Gamehead. All right, now we've made it to the Spore studio here in Emeryville, California for an update on, of course, Spore. And joining me is Will Wright. Will, great to see you again.
Good to see you, Jeff.
Now, Spore, we've heard about it for years and years and years. We've given it many E3 awards, much acclaim and attention, but it's finally coming in spring of 2008, so you guys are in the final stretch here now?
Yeah, we're on the home stretch. We have the entire game playable. We're doing a lot of playtesting, basically trying to make sure the game is very smooth across the levels and also make sure the game is very accessible to people who maybe aren't hardcore gamers.
Right. Well, this thing is the hardcore gamers, I think, know about this game, have been hearing about it. But for people that might not be familiar with it, it's, I think you first described it as sim everything. I mean, this is a game that goes from the cellular level to the space level. I mean, what's sort of the elevator pitch for what Spore is?
Well, I wanted Spore to be basically a game about the complete history and future of life, from the very origins of life, through evolution, through civilization, and eventually out into space in the future.
Right.
And we're trying to collapse a lot of different game genres at the different levels, a lot of homages to my favorite science fiction movies and things like that. So we want it to feel like probably the most epic game you've ever played.
The way we're structuring the game is really that Cell is a tutorial for, creature games. So you're learning first about the editor. It's mostly 2D. It's sort of a simple game. It's very short. Once you get into Creature Game, it's all about being sort of social or aggressive. So basically in Creature Game, you're building a creature and then trying to survive in the world and thrive in the world through either a social path or an aggressive path. When you hit Tribe, you're sort of dealing with tools and the other tribes that are popping up around you and how you want to interact with those. And again, you sort of have these social or aggressive choices to make. When you hit Civ, you get vehicles and buildings, and you're building your own little cities, and again, trying to sort of conquer the globe, either through cooperation or conflict. And then when you hit Space, it's sort of more open-ended, and that's where really you'll get to experience all the content that other people made.
Now, there's also an online component to this in the fact that, when you're playing at certain levels, other players, their creatures will populate your world and whatnot,
Yeah,
right?
In fact, it happens at just about every level except for the very first level, Cell. You have player creatures coming in and populating your world. And it's really interesting because when I'm playing the game now, I'll see creatures that I've made, 2 weeks earlier appearing as my adversaries now.
Right.
And I recognize them. Oh, I remember that guy, or other people on the team. And it's really interesting because no two times that you play the game are you dealing with the same opponents.
Wow.
And that variety is the type of thing that it would take a huge amount of, people on the team to get even some fraction of that variety using traditional methods without the procedural generation.
And every time that you see something that another player has created in the game, a little Sporepedia card pops up.
Right.
And you find out what the name of it is and who made it. So you can really start to customize your experience even with this feature that we're calling the Multiverse Journal. It lets you actually seek out other Spore players and decide that you want only their content.
So we know the game is coming in spring of 2008. There have been some sort of hints and rumors that you might put out the creature creator first as a sort of a free internet download. Is that still the plan?
Yeah, that's the plan. We want to expose people to basically the creativity aspect of Spore before they even go out and buy the game.
Okay.
And so we want to release the creature editor, and people can kind of make their own creatures, play with them in a little test environment. And in the meantime, it'll be pollinating our servers and filling, we'll have tens of thousands of creatures ready day one when Spore ships.
You got to get Spore on Wii one day, I think.
Oh,
creature
yeah.
creator. I mean, is that because it'll come out for the PC first, obviously, but then,
Yeah, we're looking at a lot of different platforms, the entire game and also little components of the game that would come out in various platforms.
You're not Spored out yet.
Oh, no. I mean, for me, about 10 years is about, I spent about 10 years and I was totally sick of SimCity. And then about 10 years on The Sims, I was totally sick of The Sims. And so I've got a few more years to go, before I'm totally sick of Spore.
Next on Gamehead, former Microsoft VP Peter Moore tells us what it's like to be the new captain of EA Sports. And finally, we hit the green with a review of Tiger Woods PGA Tour 08. Get there. Gamehead's Summer Weekly Circular, brought to you by McDonald's, helps you figure out how to get the most virtual bang out of your buck. This week, starting with $60, the PS3 gamer can either lace up a little early and hit the ice in NHL 2K8, or pick up the two backwards-compatible PS2 titles, syphonfiller Dark Mirror and SingStar Rocks. Or play a next-gen Demolition Derby and Full Auto 2 Battle Lines, and download Super Stardust HD and Castlevania Symphony of the Night from the PlayStation Network store. Gamers deserve choices, and now you got them.